Welcome to the Keeper of the City. And tonight, I want to talk about the Democratic Party, the Independent Party, and the Republican Party. You have three parties with two major parties representing the majority of America. Americans are stuck normally between two choices, Democrats or Republicans, whether it be on your local level, state, federal, or presidential. And the problem I have with this is we have one of the most mixtures of races and cultures in the world, and we're represented by 50 states, and we have two broad main point of views that sums up how Americans should feel and should think and should carry out their everyday life. The problem I have with this is it limits our choice. If we was to pick presidents on not what party they represented and on the ideas and views and the ideology, then maybe we'll have a better country. It seems like the system is set up to have either two major parties, so you have no choice to pick. I mean, you have no choice but to pick from either or. But what if you had 10 different parties, 20 different parties running in a presidential election, state election, federal election, and local election? It will level the playing fields. And then you have a lot more stuff getting done because people won't be able to do only thing on a Democrat alone, on a Republican alone. You don't even have to really be known. If you say you're a Democrat and you got registered Democrats, majority of them want to vote for you. If you are a Republican and there's registered Republicans, more than likely the Republicans are going to vote for you. Nobody wants to vote for the Independent Party because the Independent Party has no backup. It's not a gang. They don't have a big gang with big support with millions of dollars to come in every year. It's an independent thought and independent thinking. And you would think all our elections should be run like that with independent thoughts and independent people. Because when you have party, you have ties. And when you have ties, you owe people. And you have gifts that have strings attached to them. So I think in America, we need to open up our mind. Our first president wasn't part of Republican or Democrat, independent. So we need to come together and we need to figure out how we can fix the system where we give it more choice. A democracy is when you can vote on what you want, but are you really voting on what you want when your choices are limited? You got to have enough choices to vote. I mean, to give me two choices and then say vote between these two and then pick from two different parties, I mean, one or two parties, is not enough options for me as an American. I think I deserve the right to have more options. I think we have the right to think independently. And that's because somebody has a title. Why should you tell me if you're Republican or Democratic if your views are good? If you're talking about the right stuff and talking about the right laws and getting everything I want to hear, why do you need to tell me if you're a Democrat or Republican? The same way if you in a gang, you tell me what kind of gang you, I tell you what kind of gang I'm in. If I'm part of your gang, you represent me whether I'm going the wrong way or not. That's a thinking we got to get rid of. The same thing with religious people, just because that person is part of their belief, they're 100% right. Everybody needs to be judged as an individual. So hopefully in our elections in the future, we can come with more parties, represent different views, and have more independent growth. So we can see some growth in this country in a positive way, not just two parties you give to us and then both of them are watered down anyways. So it's time for some independent thoughts and some independent thinking and some independent voters running. Thank you. And this is how I feel about the Republican Party and Democratic Party, my brother and sister speaking.